This is the Buffy and Lamar Show.
Great show.
This is the Buffy and Lamar Show.
Great show. Thursday.
This is the Buffy and Lamar Show.
Great show.
What's happening, everybody?
This is the Buffy and Lamar Show.
What's up, y'all? This is the Buffy and Lamar Show. I'm your host, Lamar Quincy, alongside my co-host in everything that I do. She makes me better at everything that I do. I am Lamar Quincy, and she is Buffy.
Hey.
Janita M, a.k.a. Buffy. Today we got something special on the show. To all my fellas, we're not going to be involved in the show. You will have no representation on the show.
Gosh.
If you want to continue to listen,
You can watch.
I would encourage you to
Yes.
continue to listen. You might learn something,
Watch and listen,
but I won't be on the show.
yes. We'll miss you.
Yeah, sure you will.
So today we are going to have my girlfriends on the show. So that's why you don't need to be on the show. They love you, but we thought it was important to have a conversation just on the issue of why it is that people think that women can't get along or don't get along or can't be in a group of friends.
I get along with women fine.
More women.
You?
Whatever. That's why he can't stay. But he's going to leave, and I'm going to bring in my girlfriends, and we're going to chop it up.
Cool. Y'all have fun with that.
Mm-hmm. Hi, ladies. Welcome to the Buffy and Lamar Show.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
So how's everybody doing during the quarantine?
Good. We're hanging in there.
Huh?
We're hanging in there. Making
Hanging
it
in
fun,
there?
You know, spending time with the family.
Yeah.
Homeschooling almost over.
Thank the Lord. Oh my gosh.
You guys are the first teachers. You got this.
Whatever. Here's our teacher in the room, so she's like,
Come on.
whatever.
We're the teachers that retire at pre-K.
Yes, that's it. Then we send them to you.
Next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, so keep that in mind.
So we can appreciate ourselves. Right. Yes. All right. Well, okay. So I'm going to quickly just run through and introduce you guys. So we have Lisa.
Hi.
And we have Latrice.
Hi.
And Tasha.
Hello.
Aretha.
Hi.
And Tracy.
Hey.
And this is my crew. So Aretha had an idea the other day that we should definitely bring up the topic of why it is that people think that women can't get along. So we all get along, we hang out, our husbands get along, thank God. It's awesome. It is awesome. So it's possible. So we just thought we'd chat it up about that topic. And okay, so to start it off, so why do you guys think that the idea is even out there that women can't get along?
You know, I don't know where it really started, but I know growing up, you always get, you know, the girls at school and, oh, she thinks she's all that, which we never really figured out what all that was. We never figured that out, but you always hear that, oh, she's all that, or she act like she, you know, got everything or whatever in high school and then middle school, and it's just been always like a contention there, invisible competition,
Right?
And it fosters into adulthood, and you know, it's crazy, but no one can pinpoint where did this start.
Yeah, just kind of there.
Yeah.
Is it really, you know, Rita, you said competition, and I think about, is it really a matter that I'm trying to compete with my friend, or is it that you broke that trust that I may have had in you, and it caused me to kind of like be standoffish with the next woman? You know, I think for me, it's more of a, can I trust you?
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to compete. I don't recall competing as a kid, but it's like, if you kind of played me, it's like, all chicks are like that. So
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think people, when they have been hurt by other females, then they just group all females into one bucket and say all ladies are like that, so we can't be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's a good point.
Right.
Mhm. I kind of did that. I kind of labeled y'all as messy. So I was like, I don't want any friend. Not you guys, no.
Oh.
But like
wow.
I'm like, okay.
You're the matchmakers.
But no, like that's what I grouped women as. Like, over the years, that's why I kind of always strayed away from having a lot of girlfriends or, that kind of thing. Cause I'm just like, I had the experience of just messiness and just too much drama. And so that was my thing. So I was kind of looking for that. So I'm like, if I can't have a friend or a group of friends without the drama and the messiness, then I'd just rather not have them at all. So.
I know I had I experienced growing up my mom. And she had two best friends. And Miss Martha, who is like my second mom, and Lynn, who is my godmother. And as long as I remember, these two ladies have been in my mom's life. And, my mom will meet other people or whatever, but they weren't there like those two staples.
Right.
And just growing up, it was like, wow, I hope that I have at least a friend like that. Like that's who my mom will hang out with, or they'll come and get us and we'll stay over there, or my godmother will take us out. And it was like, man, I want to have a friend like that growing up. And I can tell you now, just one person I keep in touch with occasionally from high school, but nobody like to hang out with except you guys. And it's kind of like that same thing. That my mom would go out, hang out, sit over, talk to her girlfriends. It's kind of like we're doing now. And I'm like, wow, why? Women can do this. We can do this.
Yes, we can do it. Definitely.
Yeah, I think I used to kind of compartmentalize mine. So I would just say, give me 5 good ones. And I didn't want any more. And I used to, and I think my daughter kind of picked it up as well, is that I wouldn't let them all hang together at the same time, because this one may be messy to that one, and that one can't get along with that one. But I think I got that from my mom. She has 7 sisters, and it was just like that. It was like, these two didn't talk, but that one talked to that one, and this one didn't talk to that one. So I was like, well, you only need 5.
Right.
5 crew, and you're good. So it's like outside of that, like,
As long as you can get 5.
Tracy, did you say something? Tasha, did you say something?
I'm just glad I'm part of the 5.
I'm
You're on the 5. You're on the 5. Y'all made it.
Ain't the cut.
All right, so the other question I had was, do you think it's better to have a BFF or girlfriends? So this was fire. So this was a question for me that I've kind of dealt with for a while, because I always felt like BFFs are for kids. Like when you're a little girl, you're kind of growing up, you got time. But when you get older, it's like, how do you have a BFF? Because that's like a real deep relationship. Like you have to put time into that. It's more of a one-on-one thing. And I just couldn't balance it well. It just always like was weird for me. But I find like with you guys, with the 5, like, we're all busy, we have lives, but when we get together, we can hang out, we can have fun. Everybody has a life, so like nobody needs to be over everybody's house every 5 seconds. Like that just works for me. That makes sense. What do you guys think?
I agree with that. I think it's hard to have a BFF when you're married.
Right. Yeah.
I think in the beginning, I had a very close friend, and she always called me her BFF, but growing closer to your spouse,
right,
it's very hard to have an additional BFF.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and then I want to spend time with my husband, not some chick.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's
No.
how-
Yeah, I have to agree. I think having friends versus a BFF just allows more growth. Like that one person, depending on how they view you, may not give you the real, whether it's something positive or constructive.
Right.
You need multiple people's view of you to say, hey, do you realize you do this, or you do a really good job at this,
That's a
versus
good
that BFF who may just want to, you know, stay on your good side.
That's true.
Good.
But I think you should have both, though, because you need that ride or die. You need that one person that you could call in the middle of the night. And
Right.
if you need to go blow something up, they're going to blow something up with you. So I don't know.
But I think you can have your ride or die in your 5, though, right? Because I know if something was to pop off, I'm calling Aretha.
Right.
And I'm calling you Tracy. And see, like you say, y'all gonna be there ready to go, and I'm just gonna be there. Yeah. And see, Lakeisha kind of like she'll kind of diplomatically talk about it. You might knock if you buck, but
Me
you
and
know,
Tracy will be riding
you know, yeah.
to bail us out. Yep.
Yeah.
You need
to have that bail money.
Think about it.
You need
I
to-
might
you
let
need to
you
talk
think
to the
about
lawyer.
it too much.
I think we
Thank
have
you.
everything we need in this file. We got the person with bail, a lawyer, a doctor, 2 and 3 ride or dies.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
And somebody that'll cut you.
Yeah.
You gotta have that person in the
We're all
corner.
set.
That's
You
right.
know, that's I don't know if it's just strange for me, but just thinking of a BFF, I never really thought about a difference in the two, because when I think of, you know, the closest person to me, which I guess would be the definition of a BFF, I think of my husband.
Right.
When it comes to outside of that, when he, you know, ride my nerves, because everybody husband ride their nerves, not his. Like I can call any one of y'all, all of y'all, or whatever, and be like, look, man. You know what I'm saying? So I would consider you guys like, you know, my girls, and the BFF, I guess it would be him.
Right. That makes sense.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm good with that. So what are some of the reasons you guys ended relationships with women that you used to be close with, or like what did they do to you so that you're no longer friends?
Stole from me.
Oh. I've never had that one.
And the thing is, this particular girl was a friend of mine from like 8th grade up until I was like maybe 30.
Ooh.
And she stole, and what she stole was change from my daughter's piggy bank.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, but I knew she was a thief, right? But she had never stolen from me. So
wait.
Until that day.
Until that day. And she got caught. And I mean, and it kind of devastated me. You know how we kind of started the conversation saying when girls say, oh, you think you all that? She would say things about that, about me to other people. And I thought this was my friend. I'm like, I was your friend when nobody liked you. I was your friend when nobody supported you. And you came in the house, you stole. And I was her
She stole from your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter wasn't even like 2 months old. So she stole out one of those little baby banks. And I'm like, I was godmother to her son. And I was just like, it's over.
She could have just asked you for some change.
No, she didn't need it. She just was a thief.
Oh, she had a problem.
She wasn't a need. She was just one of those folks who just kind of like felt like, oh, this is here and I'm going to take it.
What makes you think, was that the first time, or was that just when she?
Yeah, maybe you just.
Well, like I say, that's the first time she did it for me. I saw her still in capacities where she stole the principal's keys, the assistant principal's keys, and would go into classrooms at lunchtime and steal from the teachers. And I'm like,
wow.
That's what happened to my keys.
girl. We got one at the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That what ended for me. This, if you're a thief and just a dishonest person, I can't roll with you.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have a different dynamic. Growing up, I had 3 brothers and I always had to hang with them. So my best friend was actually a guy. We actually been friends since I was 11, 12 years old. And when I got married, I kind of had to make that shift because I'm like, I can't be at your house, dude. Like, I just can't. Like, I don't think my husband's gonna understand that. But then my husband, his friends are females, and so he kind of understood the dynamic, and it works for us. Then he moved to Alaska, and it was a no point. But with a female, the only female that I actually allowed in my life, when I got married, she got jealous, and she just came very toxic, and we ended our friendship, and she went through a 12-step program because she was just so bitter that I had gotten married and she has never been married before. And she invited me out to like have lunch with her so she can ask me to forgive her. And I just thought she was just being messy. And I was like, I'm done with females. I'm done.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Larry was like, that girl is out to get you. And I was like, don't do her like that. She's fine. And he was like, no, she's not.
Yeah, they know. My husband was like, something about her. I was like, no, she's just misunderstood. Then when she saw, he's like,
did not pay you.
We're done.
I've cut female friends out for, they'll use you as a dumping ground sometimes. And I like a mutually beneficial friendship where we can all talk to each other and build each other up.
Right.
But I remember telling her, if the only time you got to talk to me is if you got a problem, we can't talk.
Right.
You know, because I'm not carrying that weight. So
I think we had the same friend, Aretha.
Okay, because that was
I had the same one too.
You had the same one.
I think you told me to get rid of mine that did that. So yeah, thanks, Bree.
So she bounced around to everybody.
Oh yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do.
But yeah, I had to end the friendship because they were just take. If I'm always calling you and I'm always listening to your problems and you don't have anything to benefit to the relationship, why am I friends with you?
Right.
Yep. That's true. And I can piggyback on that because I think recently I realized a close friend of mine was the same way, whereas the only time she called me was when something was going on, and even when she called me and she would be talking, I couldn't get a word in edgewise anyway. So it's just like dumping ground, like you said, Aretha. And I think after I stopped all of that, we grew apart. We just grew apart because I was not going to be a dumping ground.
Right. Because that was your role. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think a lot of women go through that because I think sometimes we start out our relationships like that. You know, you're there for them to, tell their problems to or whatever, somebody to lean on if they're going through a hard time. And then that pattern just kind of starts and then you become that friend. But
yeah, and the weight that was on, I was taking on her issues. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm good over here.
Right.
You lose yourself is what happens because you're not being poured into, you're being drained is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's good, like Aretha said, you need to have a mutual relationship. Any relationship that you're in, it needs to be mutual. It can't be one-sided. That's cool. All right, so I got a big question. I've seen this question quite a few places and people kind of discuss it. So do you guys think that it's possible for a Black woman and a white woman or vice versa to have a close friendship together? Or like a true friendship?
I think so.
You think so?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
You don't think the differences would matter at all?
Not if it's a white friend that you can talk about those differences with.
Okay.
Right. Because I have a coworker who's we've been working together for 5 or 6 years, but we're getting to the point where we talk about those whole black and white differences. And she's like in corn country, like in white America, middle white America.
Right.
But when we experience things and it's different, like we had a huge thing that kind of came up because I have a where I work is predominantly white, female, and there was an incident that happened in Mexico to one of the ladies, one of the Black ladies I work with. And she came to me after it happened. She came to me. She was upset. We were talking about it, and it's only 3 of us there out of our staff. And you know, this particular friend, well, I'll say associate because we're growing closer. But when we were talking, she was like, "Well, what happened?" And she was like, "Well, do you think it was because?" And we were like, "Look, you need to know there are 2 different Americas out here,
right? Yeah."
And she started to realize, you know, I do notice that. You know, but if it's a white woman that you can talk to and they're listening, you know, and understanding the situation and can have a good dialogue with, then
right.
You got some people with, you know, good white girlfriends.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think if you have 2 people that are open-minded, there's a lot that you can find that we have in common, like just being women and being mothers. You can always start there and find a lot of stuff that you have in common. I think some people are afraid, like on both sides too. Like, you know, they don't know if they can make a white friend or make a black friend or whatever. But I think it's pretty open. I think it's good to, you know, seek people out because then you get a different perspective.
I think it's how you were raised.
Really?
Because I grew up in a predominantly white school, and so I have a lot of white friends that we're still friends today. And some of them are closer than family members.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I trust them with anything in my house, my family, my son, and they'll take care of my family to this day. So I think it's just how you were raised.
Yeah, that's cool.
I would agree with you, Tracy, because I grew up in a predominantly Black area. You know, Detroit is predominantly Black. And when we were raising our kids, when we first moved down here, the conversation that we had, we lived in a particular area, and I was like, you know, it's not diverse enough for me or for my kids, because I knew how I felt about certain situations. And so I didn't want them to grow up with that same idea. You know, not that exposure to different people, to different cultures, to different things. So I look at my kids, they can roll with anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, as I get older, I feel I can roll with anyone. But I can honestly say that probably me 20 years ago.
That's cool. So you evolved.
I've evolved.
I was ashamed of my white friend. Like I got bused from majority to minority, and the M2M program. And my Black friends would be like, "Oh, she go to the white school. Oh, she's acting white." And I couldn't say, you know, well, I got a really close white friend, and like, I'm learning a lot from her, just about life, like things that I didn't think about as far as travel. I just learned a lot from that friend, but I felt like I couldn't bring what I was learning in the school where I went back to my Black community, because then, you know, I was criticized for being white.
I'm sure that happens a lot.
But I think it's possible for a Black and a white person to have a friendship.
And like Lisa was saying, as you get older, it doesn't matter anymore. So, you know, now it wouldn't matter, but I'm sure it's hard for kids to do that if they're, you know, if they're trying to bring their friends into their circle. But yeah. Everybody answer? Okay. All right. So what's one thing that you guys cherish about our friendship circle?
I would say honesty.
Yeah.
That we're all honest with each other. If we're right or wrong, we're honest, and we're able to tell each other that.
Yeah.
You know? So I treasure the honesty.
And I would say no judgment. Like, we can be as transparent as we can be, you know, as, you know, from our hearts. And there's no judgment, you know, we're all human, go through things, you know. So act up a little bit.
Right. I would say for me, I appreciate the acceptance. You know, you all, I've been knowing Aretha a good while, and Tracy, but you, Janita, Latrice, Tasha, y'all are new to me, right?
Right.
And I appreciate that y'all didn't make me feel like, oh, she was in, the group before, but she left and she still kind of tagged along.
Girl.
But, and I was just like, they were so cool and accepting. I was like, you're part of the 5. So again,
Gotta be that 5.
Gotta be that 5. So when you talk about evolution, I just appreciate that, that you all I admire you all as women individually. And it's like, y'all just, I'm a little older, just a little bit, but I'm just like, y'all keep me on my toes. Y'all just I appreciate that.
I love having fun with you girls. Like, I know in this whole group of ladies, between all 6 of us, nothing's a bad idea. We'll be like, hey, we seen this show that, it'd be cool to go to. I know exactly who to call. Right. Everybody is down. I love that. Yeah. And I really cherish the fact that we can lean on each other, good times and hard times. At any time, we can pick up the phone, call, and it's okay. Yeah. So, it's okay to call you guys. So I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the support, and it's just safe within our friendship to, share highs, lows, good, bads, whatever. And like Tasha was saying, there's no judgment. Right. And just like the support.
That's awesome. Okay, so Aretha took mine a little bit because I love the fact that I can ask you guys to do anything and you'll do it. Like we had our quarantine breakfast in the trunk of our cars, and I was like,
oh, I love that.
Anybody that's gonna say, no, I don't think I should do that, or I can't make it, I was like, I know who to call. And we it was like the day before, so that's awesome. But the most important thing, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but it's important to have friends that actually like and love their spouse. And care correctly for their children, because that brings a whole nother thing to the table.
Oh yeah.
And you don't have to worry about like drama. Like we're not perfect. We don't have perfect marriages or whatever, and we can talk to each other when we're having a hard time or what have you. But at the heart of it, everybody's in love with their spouse. So I don't have to take the place of anybody's spouse. We can hang out with them. We can hang out by ourselves. That's really refreshing because I haven't really had that experience before, and I really appreciate that.
And we're not trying to hit on each other's spouse.
Right. Right.
We don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to do that.
Right.
That's awesome. I can't imagine worrying about that. That's ridiculous.
You guys are great. When you say that, as women, we don't have to worry about that because we are in happy marriages. We love our spouses and our spouses get along. I think back to some girlfriends that I had that just recently got divorced. And it's that disconnect now that they're not with their husbands anymore. It's almost like, well, I still want to be your friend, but,
it's hard.
Yeah. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to do that too.
Well, thank you guys. That's all the questions, but we do have a game.
Okay.
So we're gonna play Who's Most Likely To.
Okay.
I asked you guys like a few hours ago to make names, and they did it. That's why they're so awesome. So we all have names. All right, so I'm gonna ask who's most likely to, and then you hold up whoever you think it is, okay?
Okay.
Who's most likely to win the Nobel Peace Prize?
Nobel Peace Prize? Oh.
Aww. A little mixture of everybody. Different reasons.
Okay, out of all of you ladies, I've known Lisa the longest. And this is how long I've known her. Lisa, hold up your name. No, we haven't communicated since yesterday.
Oh, wow.
That is so cute. I love it. That is awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so the next one. Who's most likely to get away with murder?
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Like actual murder. Everybody don't think I can get away with murder.
No, not you, Janita.
Just see, Janita.
You will go and confess.
I probably
Too honest, Janita.
I'm sorry, I did.
You're sweet.
That's why you the lawyer of the group.
You're right. All right, next one. Who's most likely to jump out of a plane?
Jump out of a plane?
Yeah.
Like skydiving?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would.
Not a perfectly good plane. You can put my name down.
I think you got the most votes. No.
No.
All right, who's most likely to win a Grammy?
For what though? Is Grammy the singer?
I think that's for singing, yeah. I think it's for singing, right? Yeah.
Oh.
In my mind.
Right.
For singing?
Yes.
In my mind.
I'm like, what?
You might be for songwriting.
Come on, T-Mac.
Oh,
You got lyrics.
sorry.
Lisa is always singing, guys.
I'm like,
Always.
I'm like,
Yeah, I
you
can see
can tell me
Lisa.
I didn't sing back up for somebody.
They should have a Grammys for karaoke.
Yes,
Yes.
I would definitely.
That's Lisa.
All right, who's most likely to get arrested?
Oh,
Ooh.
God.
Let's see.
Sorry. That's why I got the bail money. Sorry, Tracy.
Patrice, you can't go down. You got the bail money, girl.
We got your bail money already.
We got it ready.
I chose myself because I know.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
It's all right, Patrice. We keep the tennis shoes and Vaseline in the trunk.
Girl, thank you.
Ready to go. All right, last
Take
one.
the rope.
Who's most likely to get pregnant at 60?
At when?
60?
60.
Good.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
See, I was thinking this
that on
person
nobody.
because
Really?
Yep. Too much.
No.
Rita, you didn't even pick nobody yet.
Man, this is hard because
Put yourself down.
last time I put somebody up here, I ended up pregnant. Put nobody up here. I can't talk about nobody.
No, Tasha, no. I get a re-up every 10 years. No, ma'am.
I see your videos. I see videos. You hot to try.
Stay
Yo,
protected.
You
I wrap
asked
it up.
the question. I'm going with this.
Oh, Lord. See, nobody agrees with you. Okay. All right. So we are all done. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. And I can't wait till we get to hang out for real, for real.
Yes.
Yes. Very
We need
I
soon.
got my summer outfits laid out.
Yes, I'm gonna be ready to go.
oh yeah.
Ready to go. All right,
we
you
need
guys have a great night. Love you guys.
Bye.
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 All right, y'all, that was the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to give a special thanks to Lisa, Latrice, Tasha, Aretha, and Tracy for joining the show today. And also, last but not least, of course, we thank Buffy. I figure I'll close it out since I wasn't on the show today. So be sure to log on to buffyandlamar.com. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social medias. We are on Instagram at Buffy and Lamar and Facebook, The Buffy and Lamar Show. Also, audio podcasts available pretty much wherever you stream your podcasts: Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and soon to be Pandora. So be sure to tune in next week. We'll have another dope episode for you guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.